The NFL has decided that Lamar Jackson is just not a name worth trading for. It doesn't make any sense. But somehow the Pittsburgh Steelers are being dragged into this, and they've been dragged into this the entire time. But right now is the first time that you kind of feel like maybe the Steelers might lose this. What's going on, everybody? I'm Noah Strackbine. Thank you for jumping on to Steelers to Go, your daily to-go cup of Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. Find us on youtube.com/all Steelers talk and subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts. And today we're talking about Lamar Jackson. It's the only thing to talk about right now as we approach free agency. The Steelers obviously have their names on plenty of guys, and we're going to talk about all of that throughout the week. But right now, it's Lamar Jackson Day because nobody, and I mean nobody, out of nowhere wants one of the best quarterbacks in football. And if we know anything about the National Football League, it's that this doesn't make any sense. First, I want to make it clear that I am a fan of players before I am a fan of any team. I want guys to succeed when they deserve to succeed. I want guys to get the bag when they deserve to get the bag. I do not put anything in front of the fact that these men are putting their lives at risk every week for our entertainment, and they deserve to get paid for it. And when some people are getting paid who probably don't deserve to get paid, the good guys should get paid. So I am a fan of Lamar Jackson earning a huge payday. I am not a fan of what is happening in the NFL right now, and that is what we could all see with our own eyes is collusion. 1 year ago, the Cleveland Browns made the worst decision in the NFL by not a mile, maybe 100 miles, signing Deshaun Watson to a 5-year, $230 million contract, fully guaranteed, while tossing a boatload of picks at the Houston Texans in exchange for the quarterback. It was a terrible move. Everybody in the NFL realized it was a terrible move. The only headlines that came out of that were how bad the Cleveland Browns were, how terrible of a president that just set, and how awful it is for the future of the NFL. Owners were losing their minds. Coaches and players were losing their minds. A man who just got over 20 sexual assault accusations, 20 sexual assault accusations, is now getting paid the craziest contract in NFL history. And 1 year later, Lamar Jackson, a former MVP of the league, a year younger than Deshaun Watson, no trouble whatsoever, and well respected and loved within his locker room, is being held to dry. And it's clear as day that it's the NFL owners saying we cannot make this a trend. We cannot hurt the future of our league by guaranteeing quarterback contracts. The Browns, we have to fix their mistake. And therefore, Lamar Jackson has to be a scapegoat. He has to suffer for this. He has to be the guy that gets paid way less than he's deserved. And because he's a mobile quarterback, and because he got injured the last 2 seasons, means that he is an easy out for the rest of the league. There are, by my count, 10 teams who should be on the move for Lamar Jackson. He's getting paid $32 million. That will be more whenever he signs his next contract because he's worth more than $32 million a season. He wants a fully guaranteed deal. I don't think he's going to get a fully guaranteed deal. I don't necessarily agree that the NFL should trend towards fully guaranteed deals for quarterbacks. I think all contracts should be fully guaranteed in the NFL. That being said, they're not. And I don't think Lamar is the guy that you go and hand a fully guaranteed deal for. But you hand him something that makes him happy. You hand him enough to say, yep, I feel confident in that deal. That's enough money for me. We sound good. We're not going to set the trend, and we're not going to follow suit with Deshaun Watson because we realize that was a huge mistake, but we'll get somewhere close. You give up 2 first-round picks. You feel happy. Those 10 teams make total sense. Maybe outside of the Jets, who are in pursuit of Aaron Rodgers. Maybe outside of the 49ers, who have a quarterback, I guess maybe two quarterbacks, depending on how you look at Brock Purdy and Trey Lance. But besides that, the Raiders, the Panthers, the Falcons, the Indianapolis Colts, the Washington Commanders, the Miami Dolphins, I even have the New England Patriots and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on here. Depending on how their cap situation looks, this is an easy move for all of them. The easiest decision they can make. Lamar Jackson is not he's a good quarterback, but there's some questions. It's nope, this guy's an MVP of the league on a team that never had anything around him. Easiest decision you could possibly make. And the fact that they're not doing that means that, and the fact that the reports came out almost simultaneously with the franchise tag being placed on him means that this was planned. This is a planned attack on Lamar Jackson. The NFL knew what they were going to do. This has been set up for a while. But in the process of all of this, just to bring it back to the Steelers, Pittsburgh's going to lose, and they shouldn't be losing here. The Ravens should be in a place where they're about to lose their quarterback because they're so stubborn that they won't pay him. They have nobody else to replace him with. 2 first-round picks, yeah, good, but you're not getting Lamar Jackson. Sorry. You still don't have a wide receiver. Your tight end is declining. Your offensive line is declining. Your defense is good, but you're about to lose your star cornerback and your star safety and possibly your star inside linebacker and Patrick Queen. The Ravens should be on the decline. But instead, because the NFL has decided to gang up on Lamar Jackson, the Pittsburgh Steelers are now going to suffer. Why? Because the Baltimore Ravens are going to end up with Lamar Jackson this season on a $32 million deal. That's ridiculously cheap for a guy who is as good as Lamar Jackson. He should be counting for more than a third of their salary cap, and instead, he's just getting paid $32 million a season for 1 year. Easy money. That's the easiest quarterback decision you can make. It's only double what the Steelers are paying at quarterback this season. That is insane. On top of that, Lamar is going to be pissed. You now have a Lamar Jackson who realizes that the NFL has colluded against him, who realizes that the NFL has did him dirty. But he's not going to be the guy that sits back and says, I'm not playing on this deal. I'm not making $32 million this season. He's a competitor. He's the most competitive guy out there, really. And I find it very hard to believe that this guy is not going to walk into the 2023 season and absolutely light it on fire just to tell everybody, hey, screw you. I saw what you did to me. This year, I'm coming for blood, and I'm about to get even more money, and somebody's going to give me that fully guaranteed deal. So now the Steelers have to deal with a pissed off Lamar Jackson who's going to play better because of it, and a Baltimore Ravens team that now has salary cap space to build around him because the NFL decided, no, we're going to use Lamar Jackson as a scapegoat. I don't know how it happened. I don't know when all of this was decided, but somehow Art Rooney was sitting in that room going, what the hell, guys? Why are we doing this? Why is this such a good idea? Because it's a bad idea for the AFC North. The Steelers season should get way easier because the Baltimore Ravens should be crashing down. All signals indicate that this team is on the downfall. You got players calling out the GM. You got players calling out the training staff. The quarterback and the team are on 2 totally different sides. And then they left him out there to negotiate a new contract with another team because they knew what was going to happen to him. They knew this the whole time. But you can't investigate the owners. The owners can't investigate the owners. They never do. And this is not the highest priority on their list when Dan Snyder's still out there doing his thing. It was a planned attack, and it was brilliant by the owners to say, hey, look it, we're gonna set this straight. We're gonna do whatever. But in the long run, it's gonna come back to bite them because Lamar's gonna go off. And the Steelers are gonna take a hit for that. The Cincinnati Bengals are gonna take a hit for that. The Cleveland Browns are going to take a hit for that. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to take a hit for that because they're fighting for a Super Bowl every year. The Buffalo Bills, any team that is in the running for the Super Bowl or has to play this team twice a year is now in trouble because Lamar is going to be on a new level. And I'd hate to sit here and praise the Baltimore Ravens and say, oh man, this team, they did it. They're going to win it. It's crazy. But if I was a betting man, which I am, I'm always putting my money on the guy that deserves something who gets screwed out of it. Lamar Jackson deserves a huge contract. He deserves for himself to find his way out of Baltimore on a better deal. But he got screwed out of it because the NFL has decided that we are going to use this guy to set an example because the Cleveland Browns messed everything up. And it's going to come back for everybody but the Baltimore Ravens to just bite them right in the butt. And that sucks for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It sucks for the rest of the AFC North. It sucks for a league that should not get to see how good Lamar Jackson is because they're doing this to him. But Lamar's a competitor. He's an MVP for a reason. And if I had to guess, this guy is going to have his best year yet. He's going to get paid no money for it. And it's all going to be just to show the league, hey, next year, you do this to me again, it's on you guys because I deserve my money. And he does.